Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today's video, part 4 of my Christmas runner, is zhuzhing up my village. So last week I worked out a little bit more of my background and I decided that this big linen tea towel with these red stripes would shoot across the bottom of my runner and I would start my village over in the opposite corner to the Christmas tree. So I cut out some pieces, kept it real simple, just rectangles and triangles, just don't overthink it, Corrine. And I've just gone around and done some real simple stitching. So if it's not a straight stitch, as you can see there, it was couching, which I did there and on that little window. And the other stitch that I included was this overcast stitch. Let me bring it up to the camera. See that overcast stitch there? And that overcast stitch, I did a little bit around this bottom of the house. Let me zoom in. You guys are miles away. Little bit around here, opposite corner of the house. I did a little bit there, just an inch and a half. Running stitch the rest of the way. I did a little bit shooting up that side and a little bit dropping from the house roof over here. I haven't done anything to this, or this because I want to now give the piece more texture and start building up some layers. Now, if you remember the Christmas tree, which I've got here sitting to one side, it became a beautiful textured element to the runner and I just love it. I haven't done any more stitching on my little flower, but I did use that turquoisey bluey green. Oh, it's teal. It's not turquoise, it's not blue, it's not green. It's Tiffany blue, if that helps. A Tiffany blue colour. Worked beautifully on the fabric and I'm thinking I'll bring it into this piece some more. So I'll come back to this as the whole project goes and just keep stitching into it. One of our design elements for this particular project was embroidery and flowers. So I think instead of just doing one video on it, I think I'll be drifting around a little bit. That's why I didn't just give you all prompts and drip feed them out. I want to revisit areas of the piece as new ideas come to me. So yeah, that's my thoughts there. Now, the other thing I said in the very first video, if not the second video, is I have this stash of Sanderson fabric that I've done nothing with. I keep picking up the odd piece from Purveyor of Textiles and also Susanna. She often comes across some, doggy woofing. She often comes across some beautiful Sanderson fabrics from the vintage stores that are around her at Ballarat. So I went through the stash and I've got a rainbow of colours because I just never know when I'm going to use it or what for. So they are big prints, which is classic Sanderson. So what I want to do is I'm going to chop into it. I'm just going to do it. It's the closest one that I could match. I know it's probably not perfect, but look, I think, what is Bandit woofing at? There's something really upsetting Bandit. I better go check, guys. I'll tell you why in a moment, that I'm a little bit on, alert. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. It's all okay. There's a vacant block next to us on our boundary and we were speaking to the owner probably 8 months ago, and he said that he was getting ready to build and they thought it would start in early November, late October, in around that time. And I think the company that does core samples has just pulled up a truck to the side of us. So that's what Bandit was woofing at. It was a different type of woof. I just felt I needed to check that. So anyway, back to, and I'll tell you why I'm a bit on guard duty, is we've got a female dingo hanging around that is on heat, and Mr. Bandit thinks it's his civil duty to have a chat to her. And she's not picky. She's sort of swanning around doing her little fancy butt thing. And he's like at the fence line, and he's sort of like, block your ears now, guys. This is the farm girl coming out. He smells the air, and you can literally see a smile come on his face. And then he starts the motion of mating in midair by himself at the fence line. She's half a K away looking at this black and white furry dog thinking, oh, you are just gross, my friend. And then she trots off. Meanwhile, he's left there having a moment, and then he comes trotting back as if he's like the king of the hounds. It's just the funniest thing. And when Peppers spots it all happening, she goes racing over as if to go, oh, are we playing, are we? Like, let's chase a ball, you know, and starts bouncing around, which doesn't help Mr. Bandit. And he's like, settle, Pepper, I'm having a moment, you know, back off, just stay away, I don't want to get hurt. And Pepper's like, come on, let's play, let's play. It's so funny. And then Bandit regains his composure. And Pepper's like, let's play. And Bandit's like, no, I'm weary, and just wants to sit quietly. It's so funny. Meanwhile, the female dingo that's lingering around, she's been cruising around for about a week. And when they're like that by themselves, because dingoes often travel in packs, but when they're by themselves, it can mean that they're on heat and they're covering a lot of territory, just roaming around, looking for a mate. And that's what we think's going on, considering Bandit's behaviour when she passes through 2 kilometres away, a kilometre away. Like, seriously, Bandit. They certainly know these things. Anyway, stop yapping, Corrine. What I've got here is my basket of tricks from my Roxy Journal of Stitchery project. Now, these were pulled out. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. Just had a little coughing attack. These were pulled out at the beginning of the project, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to go straight to these. I know I love them. They're here for a reason. So what the hang? Let's just rummage through them. Now, I also have, because these are little houses, and you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what's she doing with all of that? I've also got my little basket of trims, and I just threw a few extra newbies on top, just, you know, just because. Now, when I was sitting and stitching, I thought that the roof, this one, could be embellished with some sheer lace. Was my thought. If I can find where some pretty flowers come onto it. It's very sparse. So that's what I want to do first. Embellish the houses. Oh, I like that. Embellish the houses. And then have a look at that Sanderson fabric and see if I can embellish the background a little bit. Great to be able to pull that one up. Do we make it ruched? That would help me get more pieces and make it feel textured. I will need to sneak a bit of that underneath that roof beside. Or do I bother? Would look seamless if that did slide under there, which I think I can, but we'll see how we go, because I like the idea of this having this little ruched roof, a little bit textured. That would allow me to get you up into there, sort of manipulate it a little bit. I think what the trick will be too is at least cover corners. Like I've got a corner there, so I'm going to put a pin there, because we know we want it to be at least covering there, and I know I want to cover there. So I need to, when I cut this, cut that edge and then just flick it underneath. Then if we start ruching, so now I'm going to have a noisy house build next to me. Reminds me of Susanna when they started pulling down an old existing residence next door to her and all you could hear it was crashing and banging, and it was she shared the wall to her studio to the block of land, so it was quite noisy, and it sounded like it was like an earthquake, as you know, corrugated iron and all those building materials was crashing down. I might just stick that under there. A gentle little squish here and a squish. Ow. Oh, pin upside down in pin holder. Do not bleed now, girl. So, yeah. I thought if this video gives us the time, depends how much mucking around I do here, we could potentially do the gift boxes. Now I'm just going to trim this a little bit. We could do the gift boxes because they're sort of like the houses, just pieced fabrics down. But we'll see how much work I create here. But the gift boxes are down the bottom on this line, so they sort of fit with this build right along the bottom. So we'll see how we go. I'm just going to now trim that through to there. I was just thinking about that dingo. Could you imagine Bandit coming home with a batch of dingo crossed Australian Shepherd, black and white spotty golden pups as a single dad? Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. It would not be good. I'm too old to be a mother. He's so funny. It's happened three times in a row, this behaviour of him. The one time, this is why I'm positive she's on heat. The one time he was actually at his water bowl having a drink, and I was on the couch doing some stitching, and I looked up because he started air humping. Let's just say it. He was humping the air, and I thought, that's odd. Like, he's having a drink of water and suddenly he's, you know, feeling the urge. And I thought, oh, just going to have a little look. And dead set, that female dog was crossing at least a kilometre away on a tree line, way, way over. Like, he must have smelt her. Like, how incredible is that? Like, just so clever. The humans are one thing, but sometimes I wonder about these little animals. They're very, very clever. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just sneak in there and trim it back a little bit. When I do the actual stitch, I'll really anchor it, and that'll be all invisible stitched down. So now I've got a nice little textured floral collaged roof. Happy with that. This here too. Oh, I need a rectangle. That's what I need. That there has potential. And I like the look at that. Can hear that truck. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to just do it. Oh no. That would make a great gift box. What we're going to do is I'm going to cut it out. I'm pretty confident I can find another rectangular piece of crocheting. I was actually looking at this pattern a couple of days ago, actually. Thinking it was a clever little pattern, the way they connect it. as they crochet it. I've got that pattern. Like I like it. I'm going to pin it, but it would make a very cool. Here's another rectangle. I tend to pick up, no it's not, it's a little tray. A tray liner. I've just popped it down here. I like that. The other thing, I was looking at all these little flowers and I did consider doing a bit of thread painting. But I'm not convinced yet. I don't want to overpower the little tilde print. I like that there. Have we got any other rectangular shapes? That'd make a great portal. Don't need you. Maybe I start eliminating some things. It's turned into quite a palaver here already. Got more of those if I need them. Oh, a heart. I want to use that on that other quilt. My Roxy. I need to put that where it's obvious because I've forgotten I have that, and I've already got a heart on that piece. Remember the ruched little antique heart that I had found over in America, I think. Sort of not those types. Bit of lace that can go in there. A narrow little lace. He's a little remnant. We can find a spot for him. Oh, I like that. Probably more suited to the other quilt. See, I'm pillaging things that are earmarked for that other piece. But that's okay. Ticking, not ticking, tatting. Got to have some tatting. That could be good to work in around the Sanderson fabric because they're bold. Let me have a look at that Christmas tree. Is that similar to that? Not really, but I think it'll work. So that heavily machine embroidered piece, I could put it over there on the ticking. This is another little piece that I found in my stash. I'm not 100% sure about that because it's very geometric. But it could make a pom-pom tree, you know, a topiary tree. Leave it out. Leave you out because you're an oblong shape. You're quite stretched. Maybe that's a better shape than that for a portal in a window. Do like you, but you are definitely earmarked for that other piece. Some more of this. Oh, some more of that. I'm really loving this. I'm loving it because it's not exactly precious. They were mass produced and there's a lot of them around. It's a soft straw sort of tone and it just blends with everything. There's a few different shades. I don't want doilies on it like that. Just some scraps of linen. Got a few of those. I think they came from Susanna. Oh, I like you. You need to go on the Roxy. Look, I might as well be doing the Roxy bloomin' piece. Hang on, guys. Just slinging that piece over. I haven't worked on it for a little while, so I really need to. I'm just so absorbed in the Christmas. I like that because it's just a bit. But that was earmarked for the Roxy. Don't use it. Plenty of those, which is great. Sort of like these. They give me different shapes. That's Roxy. Better not take it. That's got potential. These are still kicking around. Haven't found a space for them. They sort of match. Just sling that away, sling that away. What are you? Just a little cutie. Don't need you. already harvested one of those. Well, I thought I had more square things. I know I do, but I think, oh, look at that. Seriously, you're going in. I don't know where I'm putting you, but you're going in. All right. Let's just make some decisions here. I've got so much stuff. This is another fabric. This is from a blouse that I thrifted, and it's just the gift that keeps giving. I tend to find really cool things in the fabric clothing section. I'm going to take a piece out of there. I'm going to have it coming up the house like a vine. Who could be bothered stitching wisteria? Just trying to decide where I go. I think I'll come up through here. Will it fray and fall to pieces? No, because it's so densely stitched, and when I attach it to my piece, I reinforce spots. I'm just going to trim that out. I love these little tray pieces. Oh, just reminds me of Christmas, like you'd put them on a little tray. I think that piece is going to come out of there with, you know, some rumbles, or, you know, like, not now, I'd be blooming plastic tray and a napkin on it. Back when we had some class. Now it's just slam it all out because you're feeding 50. I need to have smaller parties so I get to play. I might just tuck you under there so you're peeking out from under. I'm going to leave that little chap there. Maybe I could write something on there, because words are in it as a design element. No, it looks like I'm going tilt it. Love it to come up the house around that window, and if I cut it there, that would look natural. And because I've ruched the roof to some degree, if this needs manipulating and becomes a little bit ruched, it will work. So I've inadvertently given myself some wriggle room. So I wasn't going to do a lot of this sort of thing, but I don't know, it sort of felt very flat, the houses, and very 90s, you know, work I was doing back then. And I thought, no, I need to just muck around some. There we go. If that goes in there, that comes down there. Now, what I was going to do before I come to you guys, I've still got about 1.5 inches of the background, the calico showing. So what I thought I'd do is that will be pieces of fabric to bring more colour in, you know, just rectangles slid under, covers the calico and becomes part of the edging. And that, you know, I think will add a bit of a feature through there. So I'm okay if this little guy comes right down to this edge. It'll make sense when I pop it over there. So I feel like we've made a couple little decisions. Now, our wisteria, we're calling it, goes either side of the window, up the house. I could pinch you off. I sort of feel like it's overpowering a little bit. I might, instead of breaking it there, where's the little scissors? It's like taking an axe to a finely filleted something. Let me just sneak in there. So yeah, if you do have the privilege of going to a thrift store, before you leave, just swing by the doily section. Not the doily section, the clothes section, and look for some blouses that are made, or shirts that are trimmed with some of these cotton laces. There we go. I'm happy with that. That can go up onto the roof. I'll fiddle around with that a little bit more, but it's sort of creeping up over the two houses. I have this bit. No other bits? No. Let's see if we can find a spot for this. It is covering those flowers. But I'm okay with that there, I think. Just a bit of space. I keep my flowers, so if I did decide to thread paint them, I could. Yeah, I like that. Now, I have another window here that I didn't stitch because I thought maybe I could come up with something for it as well. Can we get clever with this? That would make a nice portal too. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was the other thing. I didn't stitch this red roof. I wonder if I take the birdies off. See, look at that. The red looks amazing under it. I get the portal. You can't see. Hang on. Let me tilt the camera a fraction. Oh, we're going to do that. I'm going to remove that selvage that's there and reposition it. There we go. That's how great that art glitter glue is. It just holds things into position, but if you change your mind, you can. So look at that. Oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love, love, love. If I can get that top line there, that'll give secure lace top edge to stitch down. I'll just cut a little extra, just that one can come out here easily. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. These are great doilies too, mass produced. You know, a lot of these doilies that we're all cutting up are seriously mass produced. I've seen the lace making factories in China, and you know, they made millions of them. Absolutely millions of them. So don't ever feel any guilt about cutting these things up, because seriously, you're saving them from landfill. There we go. Love it. Love, love, love. So now if I just, is it up the right way? I think it goes that way. If I anchor, but it doesn't matter if it goes past the piece a little bit, actually. I don't mind that look. It's not so neat. And then I'll just take my time and stitch all these little guys down. Does that not look like a window at the top of the house? It's very posh, isn't it? Okay. Looks like today is all about embellishing houses. Now, We'll pop you away because we've nibbled out of you. I still have my little birds. Where can we put them? Can we reposition them? Oh, I like that. Like starts to anchor. Just going to pin them there, so I don't mind that. And I'm going to use you. I know you're oversized, way too big for the space. You cover a gorgeous little window, but boy, it's a bit plain without you. I think what I need to do is find something to go over that. So we've already used you. This here was a rectangular, long, elongated doily. And I'm going to use you there. As soon as he appeared out of my little stash here, I thought, oh, great, an oval shape that's naturally occurring. It's got a bit of a flat bottom. It's been dried like that, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to highlight that flat bottom as I stitch it down, so like really stretch it out. And then encourage it to come up, so I get quite an unusual shape instead of that classic round motif, and it naturally wants to do that. Okay, so we've got all this happening. That'll look really cool once that's all sharp again. I might even come back in with my chocolate thread because I haven't stitched that down with a running stitch yet. And that might just help anchor it and give a defined line. Yeah, I will do that. That'll look really cool. This little piece of lace is hanging around. I think I want that for the Roxy. Nope. I've used that. They're the wrong shape. This is hanging around. I could just work that in the side there. So I do like the scallop. If the little flower came onto the house, you went under there, it nearly looks like another vine. And then if that got trimmed, so it just tucked in under there and onto there. No, save it for the Roxy. What have we got here? This little guy, you're a little cutie too. No. What have we got? More of that. We've used this. Do we try and make a tree, a topiary tree? That's what my instinct was when I saw this. If that had a white line added to it. Sort of looks like it could be. I think I'm going to start coughing again. I am. Won't be a moment, guys. Okay, I'm back. Oh my goodness. I'm still thinking this has got potential. So what I might do is just get a little bit more shape in it. I'll let the netting peak around it still in a circular shape. I'll need to stitch in something that represents that stem connecting this topiary tree. Maybe a chocolate thread just to tell the eye that this is some form of tree outside these houses. I like how it's a bit delicate. And it's such a geometrical shape, but it's very pretty. Sometimes picking up the odd designs. No, it's overpowering, connecting the roof. What about over here? We just sneak it on. See, that's more in proportion. And what we'll do is we'll just bring it a fraction closer together, I think. And then I think with a little bit of stitching, and we'll connect it into the birds. That's what we'll do. We'll make it look like the birds' selvage, bringing it together. I think I can do something with that. I may even be able to find a little feature, something to go in the center to build on it. Maybe some buttons, or I don't know. I think it looks very garden-like, and it gives it a little bit of structure compared to all this soft, loose stuff. This piece is kicking around. Did we need it? I don't think we do. The window. What are we doing with this window? I didn't want to stitch it again. I sort of feel like I don't need that. All right, we haven't had a rummage through here, have we? The window. Can we just put a lace piece in there? Yeah, I like that. Just that. It's just a little pop of something, something. There we go. Doesn't have to make sense. Nothing does. So why try? Where is my pins? Have I used them already? Seriously. This thing here absorbed a heap. So that's going there. All right. Didn't use the tatting, but that's okay. Because maybe nothing. Don't worry about it. It's not happening. Move along. That was also to be reviewed. I want to have a play with these these Sanderson flowers. Now, I know they're big and I know they're bold, but I think we can handle it. So here is the corner of the piece coming down for the wreath and the owl. That's another week, another day. So let's have a look at this design. What have we got here? I just feel like I could have a floral interlude coming in somewhere. Feels like that's upside down. That feels like it's the right way. I like that one. It's anchored with a cut, so I don't need to deal with the big rows. If I want to bring other pieces in, I can, because we've got this rose that's a half, No, I don't know, don't like. What I might do is we will take that, because I could find another flower to lay in here. I'm going to take this one as well. That little sprig is super cute. Now, the other thing I want to do is take a good bit of the background with it, because the background is what's going to make it all gel together, because it's in the tones of my backgrounds. It's slightly darker, but it is in the family. I've done it. I've cut into the Sanderson fabric. Okey-do. I can just see this piece drifting around the foliage component of the garland or branch or whatever the hang I do there. Don't know yet. You guys are throwing up some great suggestions, but it's too far out to make decisions. And I just don't want to cloud my brain and end up skipping to something that gets me all enthusiastic because I've had oh yes, that'd be great. And then I dive out of bed at ungodly hours because I've read some comment from you lot who aren't asleep on the other side of the pond. And then I madly get the little scissors, Corrine, you're making a hang of a mess. And I'm madly rummaging through my room and I'm going to do this and oh yes, that's great and I could try that and oh maybe that'll work, but we'll flesh it out, see what happens. And it's all because, you know, I'm jumping ahead. So finish one spot and then move on. That's why I knew I couldn't keep up with just a prompt a week, because I have a feeling we'll come across items that we want to build back in and they may not suit where we're working. And I sort of felt that with my Roxy project, because the girls gave us fantastic neutral prompts. It was great, and we're working on such a big piece that it's allowed us to revisit and revisit and revisit, and it's getting thicker and thicker and building the story, and it's just fantastic. Now this will need that glue because it's quite a loose weave. It's like a linen. It will fray really easily, so I will definitely need to just tack it down. And I'll probably just get some neutral cotton, which I haven't really added to my little stash so far. It might be this one, but I think I'll go a dirtier tone to do, you know, to hold it down, the overcast stitch. And I'll probably go, my tendency is to go to sewing machine cotton, especially if I don't want the flowers to be overpowered by the stitch, which is a little bit me. I find it challenging to pick something bold to overcast something like this, but we'll see how we go. You seem to know when it's right and what you like. It's just what happens. Oh, what a great feeling to be using this random piece of fabric. It's Purveyor of Textiles, Reclaimed Textiles on Instagram. Melanie, she's the problem. She has some random things and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'd use it for, but gee, I like that old piece of fabric. I had unfollowed her for a bit because it was getting out of hand. But it appears I'm glancing in her direction again. It's tricky when you don't find a lot of things in your native environment and then you see all these goodies online. Like how's a girl supposed to withstand that? Unfollow? Oh my goodness. Where are we going here? So that's a separate element. So we might just trim you out while we're... Those little guys would be great to work in with the wreath or something. I don't know. So if you don't have Sanderson fabrics, but you have a great fabric store or you're online, just look for some big, bold prints. This is really going to take the piece, I think, into the randomness of slow stitch because they don't make sense. We've got this little tilde and then this big Sanderson. Oh, I like that. That line there for the owl wreath piece, that is going to go up and over it, which is going to make that feel seamless. We now have a rose garden. I don't know what happened to the gift boxes. I'm going to put that there. See, that hides the fact that that rose is incomplete. We've got plenty here. There's at least 3 big ones. There's little sprigs, heaps. We do not need any more floral. I got no pins. All right, let's grab some more pins. Yeah, we've got more than enough floral to see something's happened there. I love the big boldness of it. Yes, it's overpowering the houses, but we're breaking all the rules. It is just going to be that way. So I won't be able to stitch that little bit until the panel with the owl comes home to roost. Did you get that? No gift boxes yet, but that's all right. This is plenty to consider. Keep looking at that square there. With or without? With? Without? Then what do I do? No, it's going on. Don't even comment. It's going on. I think what changed my mind is very soft and not over the top. Not over the top. Roof over the top. House over the top. It's got no front door. It's random. When you're looking at that combination of houses, it's just random. Yeah, no. Don't. My instinct to make it a window as such, I'm ignoring. It's just because. Imagine this thread painted. That sounds like a lot of work. Okay. That'd be great for some words. That's good. I like how that little red stripe is peeking through there. Just help anchors it. And this little guy, it's got a little rough edge from where he was cut, not by me. I'll make sure that that comes right down to that red line. Sort of makes it feel like it's peeking over a fence. I don't think I'll trim any more of the background fabric away. I just feel like it helps frame it for the piece. Let me zoom in and see if you can see what I mean. It helps anchor the flowers by having that shadow in behind it, and it matches beautifully with that linen. Okay, let me just come back up, clear the deck. So all right, what I might do now is I'm going to reposition and I'm going to take it over to the desk where I can stand and give it a bigger shot. And I just want to put everything back into position to double check that it makes sense. And I think the Christmas tree, I sort of want to gauge where he is to this. What have I got left and what do I do? The other thing is I do have this little guy left. Before I go, I'm just going to fussy cut you out. Maybe there's an opportunity to bring this fellow in as well, over near the base of the Christmas tree, to sort of connect the story a little bit. I can always go looking for more floral, but okay. let's just pop you there. All right, I'll pause the camera and relocate. Be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back over here. Just laying it down. Giving you the big shot is the tricky bit. All right, so I'm an inch or so off of that boundary. That's what I was saying earlier, that I can foresee fabric being slid under there. Let me just grab some to show you what I mean. I'm just grabbing random pieces. So I would have just a pop of colour peeking through. So that would be trimmed. So that would make it sort of float on top of this. This will float on top of the background, and that fabric will be stitched into the background. Does that make sense? So it'll start framing it up a little bit. So that's where my Tilda fabric, here's another piece. But this is way at the end. This is at the stage where I'm starting to construct the piece, like finishing it off. But I thought to explain what I have in my head, I'll show you that now. See that there? That's just going to add, you know, more depth is probably what I'm trying to say. So file that away for the last tasks of the project, is trimming the outside edge. You might find that you want a cleaner finish to your piece, and you might literally just finish it at the edge of your work. A lot cleaner, but no, we're not going to do that. Not for me. So that's looking good. That's into position. There's that piece of fabric that'll start the garland to hold the owl. Now our owl piece, we cut that down to size, and I have some marks there where it will come in to join. There. Don't want it to overpower the house. This little fellow will come up onto it, so it feels like it's part of the picture. That there. I have a patch here that I've yet to resolve, but I'm not too worried about that. So that's how it's coming together. Now let me just slide across to the tree. And where did my fussy cut bit of foliage get to? So there's my line. That has raised somewhat, this, but I'm okay with that because I want to put that pop of colour through here now. So I'm good with that. And I've lost my little foliage trim in the process of walking over here. Hang on, guys. I'm just... Why does this always happen? Cut something out and it's gone. It's probably got caught up underneath. You know, sometimes things stick to the underside of your work and you can't find it. Nope. Oh well, it'll turn up. They always do. So here, are we doing gift boxes or are we going to continue the floral treatment? What are we going to do, guys? Let me just have a look at this floral fabric. I feel like I really wanted that little sprig and now the sprig's gone. Or do I just leave it be? It'll turn up and deal with it in the next video and the gift boxes. Yeah, I think I will. I'm just going to stop because I'm not seeing that piece. I don't really want to carve into it anymore. But what I did want to do is there was a couple pieces of lace that I had earmarked. This, and this, and this. And I just want to see if I should include it. I love these little rectangles. I feel like I've got 1, 2, 3. No, too obvious. What about you? You have this very interesting little element here. if I cut you there, is it looking too, no, don't like it. No, it's a possibility. Just to anchor that, but it depends what we do here. No, what about this guy? What if you were to merge in under the flowers in your entirety? What would you look like? Nope. What if you go over here? I just love tatting. I have to have some tatting on there. I don't mind that because it's sort of starting to connect the two. If that was cut and just went like that, no. Is it a decision I make another day, guys, when I do this here? I love the boldness of it. It's just beautiful. But then how do I, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pin it. Do we put it over here? No. Why I like it, I think, is because it breaks up that line. It sort of says, okay, yes, there's something happening here, but it's not a straight line. I like the fact that I could potentially sneak it under the Christmas tree a little bit, so it looks like it was always there. And if I do build anything up, I would probably not come over here, let that be air, and I build here and back over to here. I think it sort of connects us but separates us. Yeah. But it's not a decision for today because I'm just not quite. So I like that half piece. Then what do we do there? Does it matter? So I like it in half. That's highlighting exactly what I said I didn't want to do. Now, if I had that bit of bloomin' cut out floral, I'm going to have one more look, guys. Oh, what about that? No. What about this? Use that to break. Oh, I like that. Oh, is it a bit too triangular, like a tree? What if I do another tree? Hello. What if I do another tree in the village of trees? We're doing that. That's what we're doing. Forget about that round thing. So now we need another stem. Then I can bring some more of that and wind it through. We're not doing gift boxes. Maybe one parcel. We've got to have a parcel under the tree. We're going to do a tree. So I could stitch you on and just leave invisible stitch that into position. Is that where it starts to narrow? Yeah, that's the widest point. Oh, look at it. Oh, seriously. Leave that flapping so when this all joins together, that can just anchor it. We need a tree. Where's our chocolate fabric we were using for the Christmas tree? Let's have another little looky at that. That gives us a bit of continuity in the forest of trees. Yes. Yes, yes. Scissors, quick. Someone get me the scissors. Goodness sakes. It's important. Here they are. Where's that floral piece? seriously, I hate it when you're on a flow, you're on a creative flow and you lose an element. How big of a trunk do we need, guys? I think it needs to be substantial. I wonder if I could use a little bit of this brown over there on that topiary tree for consistency. Now, don't you ever say I'm not consistent, because I know I'm not. That's a bit big. That's a bit weird. It's finding that right width. Bam, that's it. And I'm going to make it quite long. I might pins. No pins. Hey Fudgy, how are you today? Fudgy's gracing us with his presents. Maybe I need to shorten it. I like that frayed edge, so I think it needs to come from this side. Get it a little bit more narrow so it's not so big brown and a blob. It can stitch onto there. I'll leave it long, I think, to go past this little join. Oh, I wish I had those flowers, but it's okay. It's okay. But I really want those flowers. Where's that? I just can't put it away, can I? I know I can do something there, but I think that's a good start. Maybe I soften this guy up with a bit of that. Oh yeah, where's my tatting box? I've got a little basket here of tatting, all different thicknesses. And I'm wondering, because that's too gorgeous to cut, I wonder if I just add a little piece here just to break that. I'm seeing this rectangular line happening. I think I will. I'm going to, I want to keep that, and I'm going to slither through there. And that's going to go there. So when that border fabric comes through, it's now drifting down a little bit to break up that. Texture and interest. Maybe this could go with the owl and the wreath. Here comes the fudge. He has to drop in, say good day. So I'll just let that flap in the breeze when I stitch all that. I'll readjust the pins. I don't need to. Look at that one. That's actually from one of my relatives. How about that for a beautiful piece? Won't be chopping that. So now what this gives me is this little morsel, and you go away for now. I'm going to cut that. I wanted to use this guy on my Roxy project, which I can now. Just working out where all the design elements are so that I get bang for my buck. And this little morsel will be fantastic. That there to go on my Roxy piece. So then it's just deciding where you're going to go. I know it looks like a popsicle at the moment. Don't stress. Do not be concerned. Here comes the fudge. How are you, Mr. Fudge? Yeah, pussycat. What do you reckon? Be careful, there's pins, my darling. Hey, you be careful. Hey. He just has to drop in and say good day. It's because I'm talking to you guys, I've decided. It's the signal that the fudges could drop in for a hello, because there could be someone else here. All right. Look, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I feel like creatively I've exhausted where I need to be. And I need to, watch out, darling, you've got pins. And I need to just take a breath, stitch what I've got down, and then assess this, you know, under the Christmas tree another time. Yeah, just take a moment to catch my breath, I think. And if I could find that bit, if I find the bit, I'll have to watch the camera again to see what I did. Probably you guys are yelling at the screen. It flew to the left. I'll watch the video because it was sitting on here and I've just walked 3 meters through my room. But I do have a rug on the floor that's similar tone, so it's quite possible it's sitting there and I just can't see it. But anyway, doesn't matter. It'll turn up. All right, guys, I'm going to sign out. Welcome again. Thank you for joining me. There's heaps and heaps of yous making a Christmas runner. So absolutely love seeing all of your progress on our Facebook group that I share with Tia from Calm Creations. That's the name of her channel. And Susanna from Vintage Blend Studios. Fudgy's laying down. He's going to have a little nappy. Yeah, it's great. So the three of us run a Facebook group called Stitched Vintage Treasures, and the link is below. So pop on over if you are doing the project, and we'd love to see your, you know, progress. And yeah, oh, Fudgy Bee, you're just a good boy. You're getting old now, aren't you, darling? For those of you who are new, he is 19. He's a good boy. Still holding his own. All right, enough. See, oh, he wants a smooch. See, I stopped patting him. There you go. For all you cat lovers who just love it when the fudge comes to town. For those of you who don't really appreciate cats in your life, for plenty of good reasons, I'm sure. Sorry. It's fudge land in here. All right. Anyway, say goodbye and I'll catch you all later. Bye.